everybody, welcome again. We are doing a pretty unique vlog today. Probably not going to be a very long one. Probably keep it pretty short for this one, but I thought it'd be something pretty interesting to show you guys. And what it has to do with is a cemetery in Rayne, Louisiana, where we are today, which is a suburb of Lafayette, Louisiana, where a lot of my other vlogs are based out of. And this is the only known cemetery in the United States whose tombstones or graves face north and south instead of east and west. Back in the pagan days, it's a pagan ritual that started way back, where they would face all the graves east and west with their feet facing the east, so essentially their faces facing the east, based off of a biblical biblical belief that when Jesus comes back, he's coming from the east. He's going to rise in the east, just like the sun does every day. So I'm going to show you that cemetery, and we're pulling up on it right now. Hey guys, so here we are at St. Joseph Catholic Church here in Rayne, Louisiana. Beautiful, isn't it? It's a nice big oak tree out in front. By the way guys, this is exciting for me because I am now using a GoPro camera for this vlog. I've been using my phone for the first two. And shout out to my homeboy Sean. He has a GoPro and he said he would sell it to me if I'm interested in it. So I'm trying it out today, which I'm already loving, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to buy it from him. Back in around 1880, a town that was known as Poupéville, a name or a region out of France, actually. That's what this town was called here. And around 1880, the entire town shifted and basically moved about 5 miles north because of the fact that the railroad was being established. The Louisiana Western Railroad main line was established 5 miles north of Poupéville. So they basically packed up the entire town and moved it north, including all the graves and such. Whatever reason, buried them facing north and south instead of east and west, which is apparently a thing, and I was never aware of that. But dating back to the pagan days, pagan rituals, they always buried their dead facing east and west, or basically their feet facing east. So essentially their faces are facing or looking east. So whenever, based on the biblical belief, or the I guess you call it the belief, that when Jesus comes back, he's going to rise in the east, just like the sun rises in the east. So for, I guess, centuries and centuries, that's what they did, and that's how they buried him. And for an unknown reason, at this cemetery right here that we're walking upon, most of the graves are above ground because, I'm sure you guys are vaguely familiar with a lot of the tombs in New Orleans that are also above ground. It has a lot to do with the water table down here. And when it floods, some of the graves in the past have popped up. Even as recent as Hurricane Katrina, they pop up out of the ground and float away. Nobody wants to see that, especially if it's one of your own relatives. So yeah, so here it is. This is St. Joseph Cemetery, the only known cemetery in the United States whose graves face north and south, and I'm facing south right now, so it's valid. I never knew it was a thing for graves to face east and west, and I grew up, for the most part, Christian and Catholic, and so I've never heard that before. And so yeah, going back to the story, back in 1880, I think the most accepted story is that whenever they interred the graves to rebury them here, like I said, around 1880, well, I guess the accepted theory is that the grave diggers are the people who were in charge of, relocating them and reburying them here. just started staging them in a manner that was essentially a 90-degree difference from what, you know, instead of being east and west. So, and what they say is that by the time they had enough graves here, where they had, I guess, the majority of them here, after the move, that they already buried so many of them, and by the time they realized that they were 45 degrees off, they said it's too late. And they said they don't want to dig them up again, so they just kept it the way it is. And who knows if that's really the real story? It could be something else. Maybe they did it just to be different. But yeah, it's pretty cool. For those of you who aren't in Louisiana or not from here, or maybe never even been here, it's not an uncommon thing to see graves above ground like this. And like I said, it has to do a lot with the water table, very shallow water table. In Rayne, Louisiana, where we are, is claimed as the frog capital of the world. Frog capital of the world. So yeah, here's right in front of the church. I didn't see it the first time. One of the many frog statues you see here in Rayne. Let's see what this says first. The site of St. Joseph's Catholic Church and Cemetery was determined after the new settlement of Rayne was established. Huge wooden wheels were made, and the old church from the original Coupeville settlement was mounted on them and moved to this location in 1882. The cemetery, adjacent to the church, was the only known Christian cemetery for many years, where the graves were placed in a north-south position lengthwise. According to ancient Christian customs, graves are positioned east-west so that the bodies of the dead lie facing the rising sun, the symbol of Christ's resurrection. Folklore about the cemetery's misalignment has been passed down over the years in stories, but no one knows for certain why the cemetery does not follow tradition. Basically what we just talked about. Yeah, look. Here's a frog. Father Joe is what this frog's named after, or named St. Joseph Church, ownership of Rayne Beautification Board. It's a frog. A priest frog. Father Frog. Father Joe the frog. Look at this pretty frog. It's like putting lipstick on a pig, except it's a frog. It's like Kermit playing Miss Kermit. I guess this is what you call the downtown area of Rayne. You can see a lot of frog statues and such. This one is, looks like it's kind of all the same mold. This was just a plain concrete one. That you can buy and just paint it the way you want it. This one has its own pet dog. Excuse me, pet poodle. Just like on the window painting. Look at that. Looks almost real. Depot Square. I'm guessing this is all to commemorate what I was saying earlier about how Rayne was established essentially off of the establishment of the Louisiana Western Railroad line, the main line. Or else it would be 5 miles south still. It may be a smaller, not as established little town, maybe still called Coupeville. Frog fountain here. Pretty neat, huh? A little stage here or something. I guess maybe they put shows on here sometimes. Rayne Frog Piano. Oh, and it works. if I knew how to play a lick of piano, but I don't. Fa-do-do. Rayne Depot Square. Early Cajun settlers of southwest Louisiana who established Poupeville demonstrated their courage and determination by moving businesses and homes 1 mile north. Okay, so the other source said 5 miles. I've been seeing 1 mile, so I guess maybe it's just 1 mile. I don't know. Relocating on the site of Louisiana Western Railroad, the first train depot serving the settlement renamed Rayne. Its platforms were used many times for public meetings and political gatherings, including such well-known figures as Huey Long, Dudley LeBlanc, and Earl K. Long. We all know Huey Long was the governor of Louisiana who was assassinated in the early 1930s, who was suspected to possibly be President of the United States if he wouldn't have gotten shot and killed at the state capitol building in Baton Rouge, which may be the site of another blog in the future. Most likely will be. And here's the historic marker for it, for Poupeville, named for the merchant Jules Poupeville, and dating back to the 1850s. Poupeville was once a stagecoach stop. The town was disassembled, carried north by oxen 1 mile to meet the railroad, and rebuilt at Rayne Station in 1881. In 1878, on stage route from New Iberia, Orange, Texas, Joseph D. Bernard, PM. I guess that means postmaster. 1878. That's about 144 years ago, right? I'm not a math guy. You guys can do the math. Welcome to the city of Rayne, frog capital of the world. So yeah, that's about it for this vlog, guys. Real quick one, quick and easy, but I thought it'd be interesting. At least I thought it would be. I hope you do too. And any little quirky, odd things like this, you know, I hope to catch and find out about. I say catch, but I hope to run into or hear about, you know, and then do vlogs on them. So signing out from Rayne, Louisiana, from St. Joseph Catholic Church, and I'll hang it up here, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.